Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. As the sophistication of business-to-business, B2B technologies and services has increased, and application-to-application, A-to-A, or enterprise application integration, EAI, has reached maturity, the functional gaps between these traditional integration silos, well, it's narrowing. This shift in the business IT landscape is causing companies to contemplate a technology refresh, or in some cases, a strategy refresh when it comes to A-to-A and B2B services. With a growing business case for change and steady convergence of B2B and A-to-A technical and service capabilities, what's needed is a business process and application integration service, cloud-based, master data management, robust data security, and metadata harmonization solutions that build a bridge between internal A-to-A and external B2B data integration needs. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 30th, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantello. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Up to the Tech Talk, technology focused on solutions that lead to full outsourcing of data and systems integration functions, highly scalable and innovative solutions with a robust, proven delivery model. With us as we explore these ideas and gain insights, Larry Mieldezis, Chief Operating Officer for Liaison Technology, where he is responsible for global sales, marketing, and professional services. Larry has over 2 decades of practice and brings a breadth of experience in technology strategy, planning, and engineering, as well as management of enterprise applications and internet-based commerce systems. Prior to joining Liaison, Larry served as Vice President of Engineering Services at CheckFree Corporation, responsible for systems engineering, program management, and disaster recovery. Larry was also accountable for integrating technology as part of corporate mergers and acquisitions. He has also held positions at Georgia Pacific, Microsoft, and United Parcel Service. The Tech Talk is all about thought leadership and integration and data management as we speak with Liaison Technology's Chief Operating Officer, Larry Mieldezis. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Larry, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for having me.
Well, I think probably with the dynamic fluidity, I guess, for lack of a better description, of today's marketplace, the challenges that CIOs face just seem to almost be disruptive day in and day out. Let's start with, from your perspective, what do you believe to be some of the really key issues that CIOs are going to be facing in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. One is, what we're continuing to see, and we've seen over the last number of years, is the drive for IT organizations and CIOs to offer more innovation and strategy decision-making into the businesses that they serve and support, as opposed to the traditional delivery, engineering, maintenance, operation tasks that are so associated with the office of a CIO. And so continuing to find ways to not only lower the cost so that they can free up that budget, that precious budget that they're assigned, to offer innovative and strategic solutions to the business, but at the same time, how do they find a partner that not only can do it cost effectively, but that they can trust? Mm-hmm. In particular, that they can trust to perform and deliver services as if they work for that corporation. That's the key. Much of my career was on the other side of the table, procuring and acquiring services from service providers, and it was always so important to find a partner that got my business, that understood my business. So there's that aspect of it. The other side of it is, and you've probably read about it and heard about it in the last year or so, this concept of big data and recognizing data as an asset within a corporation. And understanding ways to really mine and open open up and gain access to that data, manage it accordingly, and provide access to it across all your systems, all your customers, and all your suppliers. So those two things in combination, really driving and recognizing the value of the data as an asset, and how do I do this cost effectively with a partner that really, really understands my business.
Well, obviously, this big data is like a tsunami. I mean, it's literally, figuratively, it came from simple analytics, and now it's becoming, what do they call it, pattern descriptions or something like that, actually interpreting the data. Tell us a little bit about maybe some of the experiences that you've had as far as playing in that space is concerned, and maybe give us some examples.
Sure. I think, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of talk in the market regards to big data, and it varies greatly if you're looking at it from a perspective of, say, retail or consumer versus manufacturing, analytics, or R&D or engineering. So it can have a very broad interpretation, if you will. But Liaison Technologies, the company that I represent, we have been brought into this market as well as quickly as it's come to pass, and that is, really, how do you get access to all the data versus a subset and sampling of the data? That's the difference. With the advent of the new technologies like Hadoop, the ability to gather data ranging from social data to point-of-sale data, consumer data, how do companies gain access to all of that data and correlate decision-making or understand their businesses based on analytics of that data? And the idea is the concept of not having to aggregate that data all into one point now and then import it into a common system, churn against it, run reports, and then a week or two down the road analyzing what has happened kind of in your rearview mirror. Now you're able to gain access to that data in real time and gain access to it from many different endpoints across the ecosystem. And so we're seeing this as a very key enabler for companies to differentiate themselves, to make decisions quicker, and to make them more effective and more accurately than they ever have before.
Now, when we were talking earlier about the challenges that the CIOs face in terms of the new roles or additional roles they're going to be playing, and we're also now talking about a form of analytics and the whole concept of big data, let's talk a little bit about harmonizing legacy systems and then going to the cloud and data security and CRMs. How do you get to the heart of those business challenges?
Yeah, I think the key issues there are, the CIO's organization continues to become faced with more challenging opportunities, more challenging situations. And the idea is, historically, if you go way back, a number of decades ago, all the data, all the systems, all the information that the Office of the CIO was responsible for was within their control. Now it's well beyond the bounds of their control through partners, customers, suppliers, JV relationships, whatever it might be. And so implementing technology and technology partners that gain almost that frictionless access to that data and that information that they no longer have complete control over. It's outside the four walls of their corporation or their organization. And so those are some of the key challenges that we're seeing going forward. And so in the space that we play, integration and data management, in particular, how do you build an infrastructure, and then how do you lay on top of that a quality process to integrate systems and integrate data within my own enterprise and then outside my enterprise? Because I need access to that information instantaneously. And what I need access for today, I didn't know yesterday. And so how do I build an infrastructure so that I can access that information, transform that data, and then interpret it within my system so I can make the right business decisions on a real-time basis?
And then, of course, we can add one additional layer, and that's lack of resources, having to do more with less. Let's go into some of those challenges as far as multiple applications or trading partners. I mean, the data's gotten so complex. How do you help companies overcome those challenges?
That's a great question, and that's one of the key pillars of what we position as a value proposition, and we do it in two ways. One is you align yourself with a partner that specializes in the area that you're looking for help in. So in particular, if you look at Liaison integration and data management. So companies look for organizations, service providers, or partners that this is what they do. This is all they do. And they do it for hundreds and thousands of customers. They've seen a plethora of different dynamic situations. And so they can bring to the table experiences that an independent office of a CIO or IT organization may not have experienced or seen. And so that's number one, is we're going to be able to bring to the table solutions and responses to challenges that are most likely, an independent IT organization or CIO organization may not have seen. Secondly, the business process or the process for delivery of those solutions continues to be refined when you align with a partner that this is what they do for a living. And so the mechanisms they use to deliver the service, the technology innovation that they deploy to deliver the services, a successful company should get better, leaner, and more innovative in the way they offer those solutions. And so that's what we're seeing, is that's a key decision point in leveraging someone that does this as their core competency. And so as a result of that, you get a lower cost per unit, and you get more capability, more efficiency, and more innovation in that delivery.
Well, I guess when you mentioned it earlier, I think one of the key words, in fact, probably the key word, is trust. To put out those kind of thought leadership that you've expressed is one thing. The other side is the challenge of deliverables. I know that in many cases, if you're a CEO or CIO of a private enterprise, a lot of times when you're challenged by a potential supplier of solutions, that sometimes they talk about solutions, but they don't really tell me about my problems. Maybe can you address what do you think are, beyond some of the obvious ones that you've laid out as far as the efficiency aspect of it and those kind of things, and beyond the CIO's challenges, just from a general business standpoint, what makes the relationship, say, with your organization so special, and why would it be important to me as a CEO of an enterprise?
I'm glad you asked that, because that really speaks to where we believe we differentiate our services. So I look at it from two ways. One is there's the technology aspect of it, and companies like Liaison, and there are other companies out there as well, continuing to innovate, continuing to develop their technology to bring new capabilities to the market. That's a given. It's table scraps. It's required. But over time, companies are going to innovate and leapfrog each other from time to time. The difference, though, and it's kind of that intangible difference, and where Liaison differentiates ourselves is we take our solution. Our solution is a combination of technology and people, or managed services. And we take a component of that solution and we reserve it for you as the client. Okay? And what I mean by that is we tailor the service offering to be very aligned with your business process and your business demands. And I can't emphasize that enough, and that if you look across the market and you look at some of our competitors, what they like to say is, hey, listen, here's our solution. Here are the 32 steps required to operate our solution or use our solutions. Get familiar with it, understand it. We do it well. We do it pretty much the same for everybody else. We take a different approach. What we say is, hey, there's some fundamental capabilities or steps required to deliver this solution, but we're going to reserve some very specific to your business process. It might be the way you want us to support your suppliers or your customers. It might be some technology that you want us to configure or develop inside our platform, but it's very, very specific to your business process. We have some customers, for example, that have said to me, hey, I have these 5 customers. They're the most important customers in my company. I want the way you treat, support, and deliver services for those 5 customers to be treated at a severity 1 level, no matter what. And so we build a tailored service level agreement around that. So understanding the business process and reserving a component of the solution to be configured and tweaked to be aligned with that business process is a differentiator.
Well, obviously keen insights, and I think are very informative to a lot of our listening audience, and also I think this tailored services certainly is an innovative approach. Larry, thank you so much for taking time to share some of your insights with us today, and obviously great job out on the battlefield and in the marketplace. We know the reputation of the company and how great of a performance that you are already doing for existing customers, and best of luck and continued success, and thank you for taking your time to join us today on Tech Talk.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate the opportunity.